Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Given Trouble Show. I am just Lisa, and
And
this is.
and I am Lyrics back after 2 weeks of working on a very intense, crazy project that I'm really hoping comes out well. That I think is going to come out really well. How are
I'm
you?
really, I'm happy for you. I'm so glad that you got through that. It sounded like a shit ton of work.
It was. It was so much work. And it isn't done yet. It's still like more to do. Like that's the thing with creative work. When new people come in to work on a project and they start and they think, oh, so and so, and then it really kind of hits them how much work it is. You just see them just wither, like, I can never do this again. And they don't. You never see them again.
But until such time, we have them to do our bidding, new
That's
minions.
right.
So
That's right.
keep
New
coming,
people are
you
the best.
fresh, new, naive people who think theater
Delusional
sounds like
fools.
fun.
Film is glamorous
Comedy is funny.
and
Mm.
easy to do and fun to make. It's so much fun writing
Oh,
jokes.
it's so amazing.
Writing jokes is so fun.
Okay, all right,
Mm.
all right, all right. Sorry. Oh, forget our bitterness. How are you guys? I know Trinidad and Tobago, we still in lockdown, so everybody kind of bummy. But
Severe lockdown.
I hope you're all doing okay. Tell us how you doing. Put some comments now. I know it's just me, but all you could come on the show too.
Well, whether you're watching the show live or watching afterwards, um, you know, throw some comments in the comment thread there, and we'll be here. We'll be replying to let you know what we think of what you think. Hmm.
Yes, indeed. So, well, what we think today. Oh, yes, I forget to say. I went to Tobago for a quick joke. I got my second vaccine yesterday. I mean, I got
Oh,
the.
you mean the vaccine? When you say the joke, I say a GT in Tobago.
No, not this time.
Mm.
No, no. I actually I was in Tobago for about a month. As everybody knows, because it's all I talk about, how much I miss Tobago. Um,
Tobago's amazing.
And when I was there, I had the opportunity to get vaccinated at Canaan Health Center. So I went and I got the Sinopharm. Uh, and oh no, this is today. This is this morning. This is the ferry I came back on. I just thought it was a nice picture. I wanted to share it with you guys.
Well, I am very jealous that you have gotten the vaccine. I can't lie to tell you because I have been very frustrated in trying to get vaccinated myself. So, it's very beautiful watching your pictures
Thank you,
of the wake of the boat. This is such a good picture for meditation. It's like, oh, lovely, nicely done.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
There's
But
also a
back to
video.
away from the beautiful picture, back to my jealousy and annoyance because I have not been able to get vaccinated, and I've done everything they told you to do, called, and so I understand they prioritized certain people and certain areas, and I did not fall into that Venn diagram of that situation. But I'm happy for you that you are now fully vaccinated. So how long ago did you get the first dose
The 21st, the day
of
of my book publication.
21st of May? All
Hmm.
right. And then you got the second one on the 23rd of June yesterday.
Hmm.
So this is you yesterday at the Canaan Health Center getting your
No, no, no.
second.
This was me last month. Yes, yesterday I didn't take any pictures because it was pouring rain. It was like I don't know, tsunami or some shit. It was terrible. The weather was terrible.
Yeah, we had a weather warning yesterday for sure.
It was
Yeah, it was
awful.
very rainy.
Yeah. So
So
I
you
was
got
fortunate to have been
vaccinated,
picked up. Yeah.
and I see
Otherwise, I was
you,
swimming.
you even coasting with your band-aid. You're coasting how you get your band-aid.
Well, here's the thing. One, they don't ordinarily offer you one, I realize. It's only because I wear a white shirt with sleeves that I get offered one, which is weird. In
Oh,
my, I always know you get a little band-aid for your,
so it
a
don't
little
ruin
tape or
your,
something. I don't know.
so it don't ruin your outfit.
Right. Yes, my white shirt. But yeah, it literally, the sign off form was so painless. I like literally doubted I'd actually got the vaccine. So that was my proof. If you look very carefully, you'll see a vague pink stain on the band-aid. I had to look very carefully to see it.
Okay, I
But
won't be
yesterday
looking
I
at
did
that.
feel a bit, yeah, yesterday I did feel a bit icky. I had a slight fever. I was real tired and I had a little running belly, but that may have been the mango because it was Tobago, man. It's mango season. So who knows?
Seeing, well, I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you have gotten vaccinated, and you're comfortable and not feeling any ill effects due to that vaccination. I mean, now the American government will know where you are at all times, but
No, it's the Chinese government.
the Chinese, sorry, I was get them confused, right? They will know where you are at all times, so just
You know, they already do. Like, they literally know what time I wake up to pee at night because everything is here. Like, they know everything about me is stored on this little box. So, why on earth would they even need to go so far as to install a tracker? They
yeah,
have one.
all this
Like,
effort to make nano trackers to put in a vaccine.
I mean, they can track your life so thoroughly on a cell phone.
It's
Like,
right here in your hand.
you remember that episode of Black Mirror with how they programmed the android lover. Like her husband died and he was replaced by an android that she ordered from a
I
store.
remember that,
And
yes.
how they train the brain is through the cell phone. Every aspect of your life is on your cell phone and
Yeah.
in your email and in your everything. They don't need
Yeah.
to tag you. You just tag your damn self. And you want to fight. If somebody take your cell phone away from you, you want to beat them.
It's true.
Please.
You understand? Well, I hope to get vaccinated soon, hopefully in the next round of vaccinations. I know we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of some more vaccines into the country.
Hold
We
out for the
have
one
about
shot, Gil. Hold out for the one shot.
the Johnson and Johnson.
Hold out for the one shot. Plus, everywhere taking that. I hear Canada not taking the Sinopharm. Well, thank God I don't want to go to Canada, bitches.
Right. Well, that whole thing is so weird now. That whole idea of being vaccinated, and which vaccine you take determines your access to different places. Like, it had me asking the question, like, can you take the vaccine more than once? Like, can you take each
You
one?
can though.
You can, right?
Yeah. I don't think they recommend it, but after you're fully vaccinated with one, you can take a booster afterwards. I think in like 4 months or something. I don't know. Listen, this show is not a replacement for medical
We
advice.
are not the
This is
news.
a comedy show,
We
and if
don't
you're
know what we're
looking for
talking
the
about.
news, you're in the wrong place.
Look for verified sources. This is not
I'm
one.
very high.
Me too, to be honest.
She hired. Okay, now that might not be true.
That
But
might not be true. That's subjective. That's hard to say. That's very difficult to determine. You know what I'm saying?
toots, my goots. Hey, you know what I'm really looking forward to?
Mm-mm.
Our Pride shows. So
Hey, it's true.
July is Pride Festival in Trinidad and Tobago, Pride Arts Festival, and we are for the third year running a participant. We're actually very privileged this year to host the closing sort of entertainment event on the Saturday night, and we're really proud of that. And it's called Power,
Power.
and
Power.
it's woman forward comedy. And our guests, we're still in negotiation, but we have some guests lined up, and it's looking It's looking like it'll sazzle.
Sazzle and razzle. Razzle
Yes, I'm
and
looking forward to that.
sazzle.
And we also have some guests coming into who we have? Who we have?
We have Stefan John
Yes.
coming in within the next few weeks. We have a very special Pride edition of Jokey with Lyrics on the 24th, I think, of July. Maybe it's
So that was
24th.
the whole event we were just talking about. And the
Was it?
event, yes.
You're so sharp.
I did say you were higher than me. I only remember I have that on tape.
I said that's subjective. Okay.
So what's happening is that we have a show that we call Jokey with Lyrics, which we had one sort of pilot out and we want to repeat. And we're thinking of using the same structure and calling our show Jokey with Lyrics, the Power Edition, because it is in fact Power, which is on the program for TT Arts Festival. But I guess we never had that conversation as per se, as such. But it is a Jokey with Lyrics. So and we're looking forward to that. But we're also having like a month of Pride guests. You know, we're looking for guests within the community to come and chat with us and lime and hang out and celebrate our queerness and just be real gay together. I'm looking forward.
Nothing's more fun than being gay with each other.
It should be a little children's cartoon.
Gay together. Gay.
So we have Stefan John. We also have Sharon Motley. We're hoping to get Sharon Motley to come on and talk. She's with the organization. She's actually with the Women's Caucus. And who? Oh, my darling, Kevin Fortuné has agreed to come on and co-host with me in Lyris's absence on, I think it's the 15th, but I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that.
Yes,
My
don't
girl
hold
is
me either.
a big trainer in the film thing. Tell me about it again.
Put me on the spot there. It is Film TT's. They're really making an effort under this new recent general manager, Leslie Ann Wills Caton, and it's really trying to make sure that people are cognizant of the opportunities as well as the skills that you need to produce film successfully, not only to have a successful production where you have a viable film, but also where you have something that distributes well and, does all the things that a film is supposed to do to complete the circle from production to distribution. And I have been asked to come and talk about distribution. I have been working in film for a few years, and it's a great opportunity to share some of what I've learned. And the class is on every Thursday from 5 to 7. So as soon as I finish here, I jump off and I go and I join because they have different presenters every week. Last week they had Lisa Wickham and it was amazing. She had so much to say. It's a great course. It's a 5-part series. And they have an international facilitator from an organization called Stage 32, which I encourage all filmmakers to go and join. It's a little bewildering for me still. It's kind of like a kind of rampy Facebook, it's like Facebook, but I'm still figuring it out, But I would say to anybody who's thinking about getting into film, go join Stage 2, go on YouTube, follow Screenbinder. There's a lot of great sites that have all the answers to the questions that you ask. But beware, it always involves more work than you imagine.
Canal.
Just imagine it's going to be like a lot of work. And then you won't be surprised.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's pretty daunting sometimes.
It's years
totes
of work
with it.
and years of
Totes
trying.
with it. I hope.
It
I mean,
is.
if I reach to the end of my career and be like, well, that was a waste of time.
No! because you make something, and I mean that's why we do this show, because we're both, that's why you write your books. We both believe in creating. That's what that's what creatives do, and it surprises me how few creatives actually produce, or create anything. A lot of us gig, where we work for other people, creating temporary things, ads and different things like that. But I think we need to start creating our own dreams, the things that I have dancing around in my head, the things that you have dancing around in your head, the courage that it takes to put those things down on paper and say, look here, look at this, pay me.
This is something
It,
that is worth your time.
it's huge, and the create when you start to get that creative confidence from doing it and succeeding at it. Like when we started Femcom, and in 1 year we did 10 shows from April to December, one bus, right?
Technically, too.
1 out of 10 bus, 2 bus. What are the one bus?
Penis edition, dog.
Yeah, the penis edition.
Penis edition was classic. We had like 2 audience.
I forgot what it.
Yeah. But you know what? Failure. The thing is, there is 80% guilt. Failure teaches you. And what that failure taught us is that venue was not a favorite place for us. Oh God, hold on. Hush! Sorry, dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't a good place for us. So we love the guy, we love the venue, but
Yeah.
the show didn't work there for a couple of reasons. So we
No.
didn't go back to the venue. We went to a different venue, and we did okay, So I think every time we fail, sometimes it's hard. It's really hard for me. I just have a couple of days in bed where I was crying thing. But then eventually, you get up and you say, well, that happened. And what we learned. I love the artwork from that show.
Yes.
I love the cast of the show, but maybe we could do it again. Penis edition. We could call it the DP. I shouldn't suggest these things wearing this outfit. I'm sorry, Lord Jesus. I'm sorry that my tongue is filthy.
We could make it a Jerky with Lyrics. Jerky with Lyrics. The DP edition.
Penis part 2.
I just have 2 guys in the show with me. 3 live acts.
One feminists would love that shit.
I love it. Why
feminists would love that shit. Oh man.
Sandwiched in between 2 of her favorites.
Oh, speaking of feminists, how's that the Batman story we saw? Batman.
That story made me laugh so hard. That story made me laugh so hard.
Ooh.
That story says that Batman, what is this woman drinking tea on it? Batman cannot go down on people. So it's just an article here. And people are tweeting about it, right? But basically, the people who make Batman say that Batman would not go down on a woman. He would not perform cunnilingus. Because why?
Oh, that was his name. Oh, I was wondering for years.
Says
next time I'll just call him Batman.
No. Oh my gosh, because it's a toy. So we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is also going down on someone. I don't know, that's the kind of toy I would buy for a young man. Say, young man.
That's an excellent role model.
Listen, if you want to be successful for the rest of your life, always make cunnilingus a part of your life, right? Because that's gonna
Colonel
So Sean said Batman is his area. Sean, you think Batman would go down on a woman or not?
Hi, Hardwick Wicks. Yes. I
Batman
don't know. I
begins,
mean,
but none of his ladies finish.
so like famously, right? I can tell you where he's not. And the woman's right. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, the
the
penguins, I want
penguin.
to see this. Penguin just look like he's good.
This
Yeah,
is
that kind
true
of
though. This
face.
one, this is a very good point. Okay, I need to
Oh
stop
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
clip
Right?
from playing. Okay, I think we're good. You know, it says something about the culture, and I've always said this. I've always said this. You know, we live in a culture where it's okay to see somebody's head get blown off and gore spout out their neck, and their whole body gets split in two, right? And we see every single guts that they have, but better
Good,
that than
wholesome
you
entertainment.
understand. And people rather have that on the TV than see two men kiss or two women kiss. So I don't know.
Blows my
Something
mind.
wrong with that. Something wrong with that.
I don't know. Look, if a man not particularly good at going down, I'd rather he didn't. I mean, that's just my stand on it
Well, I think
because I find it a waste of time. But if I think that in a what? What do you think? What?
why. Well, of course, Batman goes down. Why do you think his mask ends at his nose?
Just saying. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. You could negotiate it, but for that's an individual choice. For a company to take a position that a man pleasuring a woman sexually is not family friendly or not suitable for a hero, I think that's a real kind of messed up and sexist and ridiculous position. And yeah, like you say, we embrace violence. All violent, or the more violent the hero, the more kids are drawn to it.
uh-huh.
But God forbid we see a little bit of snack
Well,
in.
I can't remember exactly where I saw it, because I rebuke all these evil things that I don't want to see on my social media, um, for sure. But I got a glimpse of something because I watch Facebook videos, right? That's my little addiction. I sit and
Yes.
I scroll Facebook videos when I want to exit reality. So I see this one come up, and it's these guys, and they're talking about how there's no such thing as the female orgasm, that it's made up.
I feel sorry for them.
I do.
There should be like a foundation or something for them.
But it's a
Let's
fact.
start a foundation for them.
No, well, I think, I mean,
Raise
it'd be
fund. The education is a serious problem.
exactly, exactly. See, and Sean makes a good point, right? The corporate answer is BS because the Harley Quinn animated series is very adult. So it's a
Mhm.
very adult series already. It's just a bunch of guys who don't think that's sexy at all. So they decide they're just gonna leave it out, and they're just trying to defend it, because those industries are just completely, dominated by men, and by, in a lot of cases, a certain type of guy, you know, so who don't communicate that well with women, in my experience.
I don't have a lot of experience with guys in film.
Mm. It's not in film I was talking about more in animation and
Mhm.
comic books, you know,
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, that's draw.
women,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
that's draw. Sometimes you find women kind of.
yeah, and gaming, and those kind of things. It tends to be, a little
Strongly
crazy. Yeah, it tends to be difficult.
masculinist.
Yeah, it's like being in the barber shop. You know, the barber shop is not a female space in this country. You know, when I have short hair, I prefer to deal with it myself. You know, even if my mark not fresh or whatever, because I can't go in a barber shop. This kind of shit, man. That's talking a barber shop.
Well, I
Whew.
appreciate going into different kinds of spaces, and I have to because as a writer, I have to be that kind of stalker. Observer
Well, it's
of
a
humanity.
real good
So I started
place.
going them places.
It's a real good place to listen to some things. But you,
I've been in barbershops and had arguments in barbershops.
that's what I was going to say. You're going to argue. Don't act
So
like,
welcome to the
don't
Giving Trouble
act
show,
like,
where we give trouble.
don't act like you don't get trouble. Like, oh yes, well I will. You make it try to make it sound like, well, I will go. Me, Lisa, I will go into the barber shop and listen diplomatically to what is said with an open mind. You know,
I love
because
that
I yes.
accent.
This is my accent, right? I will listen with an open mind because I am very intellectual.
I never said anything about listening with an open mind. I said backward in order to write books.
you
That's it.
you reached the right and nothing. You will be fighting
Ooh.
because the kind of nonsense men that's talking barber shops, even other men that's be like, nah, nah.
You can't say that.
Nah, oh gosh. And I did chain on that one man, like, speak, brother. And you just like, when I could get his mark and girl, say, yeah, right. Isn't it because I have a function?
And it's take 5 hours every time. Yo, look, we talked
Listen.
shit for half an hour already,
Oh
Gil. And we
no.
didn't even talk about Chrissy Teigen. Now you touch it a little bit now.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So Lisa is obsessed with this Chrissy Teigen situation. I personally don't care.
So, all right.
Take it
So
away, Lisa.
some weeks ago, this chick, Chrissy Teigen, who is like John Legend's wife, right? She is a notorious bitch on social media, and she's real drag people. And now she is getting a taste of her own medicine because she's getting cancelled because I don't know, one particular drag or something. I didn't care. She is suddenly now on the receiving end of all of the bitterness and nastiness that she's dished out for so many years. But, but I don't particularly care about what her behavior is and stuff like that. And behavior has consequences, and that's fine, whatever. That's not my point. My point is this idea of canceling people. I find it hard done. It's rubbish. You can't cancel people. It's rubbish. It's white people rubbish. I cannot understand that. We
I don't
live in a
know.
society where people make mistakes because we are human. It's like literally, I mean, did you, I mean, meet a human, we fuck up. It's what we do. That's our brand. We have a slogan: to err is human. It's like, it's a thing. So people make mistakes, and sometimes people make the same mistake over and over again. I know I have. But does that mean that like nothing you ever have done in life ever is worthwhile, and that means you need to be denied a livelihood? You need to be like punished as a pariah for the rest of your life? That's a horrible, horrible American kind of way of thinking, and I reject that. I think that's stupid. You?
Well, Lisa, you've said a lot there. A lot for me to take in, especially in my current state. However, uh, I disagree to partially. I do think that if you are a public figure and you earn money based on people hire you based on their perceived um, how they perceive you are because of who you tell them you are. And it turns out that you are doing criminal and abusive activities, then I think that they have a right to disassociate from you.
Of
Um,
course.
and to say, well, I'm no longer going to give you endorsement money. because we don't think anymore that you represent the values that we hold there or that we say we hold there, right? So in that case, yes, I would say it's fair for people to stop following them. For people to say, well, I follow this lady because I thought she was like me in such and such a way, but I found out that she's this and that. Then you stop following them. And I think as a public figure, I mean, I've heard people with large social media followings talk about this all the time, that when they post certain things, the people unfollow them and their following drops. And it's hard, like the first few times it happens, but they kind of get used to it. And I think it's par for the course. I mean, just because I'm a public figure doesn't mean I'm entitled to your anything. That's the it's like a contract between me and whoever the celebrity is or so, and that's why they always have say thank you to the fans, thank you for this. They show gratitude, they show appreciation, because they know these are the people who buoy them up. So if you do something to somebody that someone has done to me, which a lot of us have experienced, like online bullying, people saying mean things under your posts, that sort of thing. And then somebody like Chrissy Teigen, who has so much behind her, when she decides to say something, she's not just a normal person saying, "Ah, your mother so and so," and she do it. It echoes in a big way. So I think that it's people's right to decide that they no longer want to be associated, they no longer want to follow. And if that's cancellation, then I don't really have a problem with it. I think I don't think she's been cancelled, though. I think that there's this, and I think that's kind of the thing. There's this idea of being cancelled, which seems to be something that the media tries to proclaim that you're cancelled, but then nothing in reality reflects that. They haven't lost any followers, they haven't lost anything, no one's left. So are they cancelled, or is the media just now just crowing cancelled when they think somebody's done something? And I mean, how I feel about media generally, that it is controlled by a lot of different interests, and that the Chrissy Teigen represents something that somebody don't like, so now she's cancelled. But I don't see that. I don't see it in reality. I don't think she cancelled. I think somebody say that, but nobody believe
Yeah.
it.
In
Media
our
are
pre
crazy.
in our pre-show conversation, we were noting that this woman has like dozens and dozens of international articles and stories and videos about it, and it's a cancer story. So it's actually like, if you didn't know who Chrissy Teigen was before, now you know who Chrissy Teigen is.
Yeah, and
You
this
know
is
what I
the
mean?
same thing that we were talking about
Crazy.
with Kyle and the Tobago thing. You know, um, you know, for me, uh, if I were a comedian who had the kind of energy that Kyle comes with, which is a very kind of frank, honest,
Roast.
brash. Yes, like I'm so
Roast.
honest that you will be fearful of interacting with me. And it's that's like a subtext. Then if that's your platform, for both your poetry and your comedy. And he said to me he's not a comedian, so it's interesting now that he's now a member of the fraternity, when this is happening, and he's not a poet when this is happening. So this is interesting to me, right? But if that is your platform, then I would double down. Not double down on to be on insulting the people of Tobago.
As a matter
But
of fact, curry
but
crab and Dublin
but I
ain't
would
shit.
say I would say I would say I am that
I'm kidding. I'm
person.
kidding. Curry crab and
Kirk
Dublin is
Government is
excellent.
amazing.
Okay, it was a joke. It was a
Yes,
joke.
yes.
It's Tobagonians that have no damn sense of humor.
You just have to drink cold water for your lacerated gums. Crab does really mash up my mouth, boy. I don't have the skill set. I don't have the skill set.
I'd actually eat crab and dumpling. I don't really like crab or dumpling, but it smells
Serious.
nice.
Dumpling is amazing. Dumpling is the ultimate
The
comfort
sauce
food.
is nice.
Oh my goodness. But getting back to Kyle, away from the crab and dumpling situation. I would say this is who I am. I'm an edgy comedian. Yeah, maybe I took it. I'm an edgy performer. And maybe this went too far. People were offended, and now I know well what my boundary is in this direction. I mean, I don't know him very well. We've worked together a couple times, and I'm actually on the same program that he was promoting for when the shit hit the van, so to speak. And I understand, that's a paid gig, so yeah.
Exactly.
So you write that content, you're like a paid gig. Let me start writing something, and as people said, he wasn't alone in that room. That was recorded. It was edited. People
It was
saw it. It
produced.
was produced. It was vetted. Kyle didn't upload that video. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shared responsibility. And I
Mhm.
think I think it was an interesting act in the comedy saga of Trinidad and Tobago
I
that I
just,
that I plan
er,
to be a part of for a long time. So it
I'm
was
really
interesting and
just
exciting.
glad that our comedy circuit has got a lot of exposure out of it. So now people know people do stand up comedy in Trinidad, and
Yeah,
that sometimes we do roast. I mean, people know what have stand up comedy, but I think this hit the mainstream media in a way that a coverage of a show would not have, or a profile interview would not have. This was in the news pages. So for people who skip the
yes,
feature section, this is like actual news. There's a guy called Kyle Hernandez, and he does do stand-up comedy. It have stand-up comedy in Trinidad? Yes, apparently,
yes.
because look, he do
It's
stand-up comedy.
still
It have a broadcast. I mean, it for me,
that's still
I
a
just see
dialogue. Yeah,
opportunities, man. I'm
yeah.
really, in a sense, real kind of happy that we're at this point, that we can like begin, like I said in conversation with yeah, yeah.
Great point, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
I really like that word accountability culture. And I think that's the difference we're talking about. Cancel, saying somebody's cancel is kind of like pointing at them and going, boo, 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 nah, nah. It's kind of, yes, it expresses how you feel, but it's not useful. For me, I like the idea of accountability culture, Sean. That sounds like something that lets the person know, well, this is where you erred, and this is what you can do about it. For me, it's all about restorative justice. How can we heal the harm and restore harmony?
Speaking of people who got cancelled, heal the world. Oh no, he didn't. Make it a better place
Michael,
for
Michael,
you and
Michael bust
for
out before
me
people get a
and
canceling.
the entire human race. Yeah, but he's still not cancelled. People play his music all the time.
Of
You
course, it's
know,
Michael Jackson. Have you heard his music?
I love his music.
Irresistible. It's
But
amazing.
every time I hear "I Want to Rock with You," I think of small asses.
That is terrible.
It's true though. It's the truth.
And this is a sign it's time to wrap up.
On that note,
So we leave you thinking of tiny assholes. Femcom.
I'm
We keep it
sorry. I didn't mean to
classy.
trigger anybody, or least of all myself. Mm.
All right, guys. Take care. Talk
Have a great
soon.
one. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.